Will Smith has a big impact in his return to Boston, but the Sharks still can't hold a lead.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker of the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. Want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. If you want to be an everyday, all you have to do is just follow wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well. And today, we're breaking down the Sharks' 6-3 loss to the Boston Bruins, discussing Will Smith, one of his best games in the NHL, the Sharks' inability to hold a lead, dig into the numbers behind this game. Plus, we're going to check in on three of the top Sharks prospects after the London Sudbury game on Sunday. So before we get to all that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, big takeaway. We're going to start positive today because I know it's been a lot of negativity on the last couple of recap episodes, but we're going to start positive today. And you have to start with Will Smith, right? Boston kid makes his first start, or his first game in Boston. Absolutely wonderful game. One of Will Smith's best games as a pro. And I think what made this game one of Will Smith's best game as a pro is because you saw it in all three zones. We know the playmaking and the shot. We saw the shot today was beautiful shot from Will Smith, right? That is why he's going to be an NHL player for a long, long time, is that shot. But you see the playmaking, right? And we see all that stuff. And there's plenty that Will Smith needs to continue to work on. But you're seeing some of those things start to come to fruition. And you saw it today, especially on the two goals, right? The goal that he scored, and then the one that set up the Zetterlund goal. It's the working on the defensive zone. And again, Will Smith is never going to be like a Selke type of player, which is fine. Okay. But can you do enough defensively? And you saw it today. He had some great defensive moments. He also had, I would say, not his best defensive moment on the eventual game-winning goal. And that was a lot of players kind of doing the same stick checking and stuff. But again, right now we're trying to skew positive. Big penalty kill, right? Sharks spend the whole 2+ minutes in their zone. They get half of a clear where they're able to get some guys out. And it's very interesting. Will Smith is out there, right? Where the Sharks know, like, they're going to be spending time in their defensive zone. His hustle, he gets to the right place. He's able to block a shot, get the puck to get to Zetterlund, and then Zetterlund does the rest to score a goal. Beautiful goal from Zetterlund. We'll talk about Zetterlund in a little bit. But beautiful goal from Zetterlund there. But Will Smith, who needs to work on playing with pace, you saw there, like, knew this was the moment. I got to hustle. I got to get out there. My team needs me. These guys have been out there for 2+ minutes on a brutal penalty kill where Boston was just peppering Askarov, this whole penalty kill. Gets out there, makes a big play. Even on the Will Smith goal, right? It starts with his defensive, nice little poke check to himself to get the puck. Great give and go. And then he's the one who we get the nice Granny Smith apple. And he's the one to score on a, again, beautiful shot. Like, Will Smith needs to continue to shoot more because as he gets, as he gets bigger, stronger, and kind of more NHL ready, or I guess NHL, that shot is going to start hitting more and more. And you're seeing, like, it is a great shot. Will Smith's a great playmaker, but that shot I think is one of his underrated assets to himself. So great game from Will Smith. You're seeing the Zetterlund-Granlund-Smith line kind of come together. I think Zetterlund, who we know has been dealing with some injuries, looks like he's starting to kind of turn the corner on those. I thought Zetterlund had one of his better games as of late, just being more productive. You kind of saw him flying around a little bit more. Like Zetterlund's at his best when he's flying around, right? He's on the forecheck. He's just kind of creating havoc. And then even like that goal, right? That was a wonderful goal. Like Zetterlund finds an extra gear, shoots, and then is able to, kind of corral his own rebound there. Like we wanted to see Will Smith play with better players than kind of what he's been afforded to so far. And I think you're starting to see that line come together here. And it's a good time for the Sharks to get another line, especially with Tyler Toffoli out. He's out day to day right now with a lower body injury. Not sure if he's going to be available for Nashville. I would assume he's probably not going to play on Tuesday. We'll see on Thursday kind of where the Sharks are at with him. But it's good to see like the Sharks needed some offense from some sustainable offense from elsewhere, and got it today, at least from the Granlund line, which was something that line has really kind of struggled as of late. It's good to see that line really kind of produce today, because the Sharks needed that line to produce today. So I think that was one of the big takeaways, right? Was Will Smith had his best game. Another big, of course, the Sharks. If the games are 40 minutes, I feel like the Sharks would be like a playoff team, because how many times have we seen them just collapse in the third period? And it happened again today, right? Great response by the Sharks. We'll dig into the numbers more, but great response by the Sharks. But in the second period, really take control of this game. And they took it to the Bruins. But as we've seen several times this season, is in the third period when you need that extra gear, right? And especially against these kind of playoff caliber teams like the Bruins, who are fighting for a playoff spot right now. But anytime you play one of these kind of, good-ish or great teams, they just don't have that extra gear right now. And that is part of the learning how to win journey for the Sharks is, how do you find that extra gear? How do you take a 3-2 lead and make it 4-2? And the Sharks had chances. They had chances. You think about that power play. I know the game was tied there, but you had a chance to take the lead there. Wallman and Graf both just denied on glorious chances there. Credit to Korpisalo, who made some amazing stops in that moment there. But the Sharks just in the third period just were not able to generate enough offense, especially at 5-on-5, and the Bruins really took it to the Sharks as they were looking to tie the game and then eventually win the game here. And I know the 6-3 final looks way worse than it actually is, because the Bruins did get 2 empty net goals in this game. The Sharks' empty net situation has been atrocious as of late, but again, you're very much in scramble mode. You're trying to in that moment there, and Askarov leaving, I feel like Askarov leaves the net like a split too soon before the Sharks are able to kind of really set up. But discussion for a different day. But again, that comes back to the third period of just not able to find that extra gear, and that's fine. Like, this is still a very young team, right? When you're arguably your best player is 18 years old. And he's going through his first season. Will Smith, 19. Eklund, who's going through his second season, at 22. Like, this is a team that is still learning how to win. And the hope is by the end of the season, you start to see a little bit more of these. Okay, we have a lead in the third period, going into the third period. Can we hold on for a win? And not just like Askarov make 1,000 saves, but like, take that 3-2 lead and make it 4-2 and like kind of put a team away. And that's the hardest part, I think, is in this process, is putting teams away, and the Sharks just don't have the guns to do that right now. So overall, though, I think like just much better performance, especially compared to what we saw the last two games where the Sharks' offense could not get anything generated. You saw a much more sustainable offense. I think this is a building block type of performance. And hopefully now with Sharks players maybe getting a little bit healthier, whatever illness or bug is kind of running through the locker room, maybe starting to kind of clear itself out here. So hopefully this is a building block where you can start to see more of these performances of just be more competitive, right? And that's the goal this season, just be more competitive, and if for the team. And I thought the Sharks were very competitive, especially the second period. The third period, they just don't have the guns to kind of push back. So we'll dig into the numbers of this game, talk about that second period and what the Sharks did really well in that period. Look at how the lines performed. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. That's $300 to keep the action going. The FanDuel app is easy to navigate. The variety of bets keep every game exciting. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. No waiting around for your winnings. Whether you're into betting your favorite team or just looking to add some extra excitement to the playoffs, FanDuel has got you covered. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. Get started with $300 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, before we talk about the game here, look at the numbers behind the game, do want to, of course, thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. If you haven't yet, now's a perfect time to leave a review, especially if you're listening on Apple. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a nice like, subscribe, all that good stuff as we continue our kind of drive. We're going to start our drives towards the NHL draft here soon. We got plenty of prospect stuff to cover. Plenty of great stuff here on Locked On Sharks. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. All right. Let's dig into the numbers of this game. So the final shot attempts, 54 minutes of 5-on-5, 59 to 55 in favor of the Bruins. Very close. Actual shots at 5-on-5, 29 to 25. Scoring chances for 28 to 27. 14 to 10 high danger chances, all in favor of the Bruins. And then expected goals for 2.83 to 2.34 in favor of the Bruins. Like, Sharks played neck and neck with the Bruins here. And that is a little bit of surprise. I know the Bruins aren't the same big bad Bruins of before, but it's good to see, right? This is especially compared to what we've seen from the Sharks the last two games, I thought this was a much better performance from them. And that second period, like the first period was pretty even. I think the Bruins kind of at the end of the period maybe kind of started to pull away. You had 26 to 22 shot attempts, 11 to 6 actual shots, but 15 to 13 scoring chances, 8 to 4 high danger chances by the Bruins in the first period. But the second period, the Sharks really came on. 14 to 25 shot attempts in favor of the Sharks. 8 to 14 shot attempts. 5 to 11 scoring chances. All those in favor of the Sharks there. 5 to 2 high danger chance. Like the Sharks really, I thought, were able to establish their game. And a lot of that was thanks to the Celebrini line, who really kind of came along in the second period there. But like we said, third period, 19 to 8 shot attempts in favor of the Bruins, 10 to 5 actual shots, 8 to 3 scoring chances, 4 to 1 high danger chances. The Bruins really found their game. They came out at the beginning of the third period and established their game. I think that the Sharks just did not have an answer there, and that is why they lost this game. As for the lines, Zetterlund-Granlund-Smith played 14-01, 17 to 18 shot attempts, which is much better than what we've seen from that line. This line has kind of gotten crushed recently when it comes to the actual shot attempts. 11 to 6 actual shots, 2 to 1 goals for this line, 13 to 6 scoring chances, 5 to 3 high danger chances. This line was great. And it's good to see. again, the Sharks have been very much, if it's not the Celebrini line doing stuff, this team has struggled to find any sort of answers. And it's good to see the Granlund line at least generate something today. Had 2 big goals, like I said. That goal that they gave up, probably want that one back, especially defensively, as everybody was just kind of poke checking at the puck and just couldn't get away from Charlie Coyle. So we had Eklund, Celebrini, Wenberg playing up on the wing for this line. 13 to 16, 18 to 15 shot attempts, 8 to 9 actual shots for this line. 6 to 10 scoring chances, 3 to 5 high danger chances. This line, especially in the first period, struggled. I think it was like 2 to 11 shot attempts, but then the last 40 minutes really kind of found their game there. Celebrini just continues to do awesome things. The Celebrini thing of the game for me was he gets the puck, and Zadorov, who's like a massive human being, he's able to get a shot off while knocking down Zadorov, and it's like a weird little shot, but still just Macklin Celebrini is like 6 foot, 190 pounds, and Zadorov is, I think, like 6'6" or something. Like, he's a massive dude. I'm pulling it up right now. Zadorov height, it's ridiculous. Somebody's gonna tell me, 6'5". If he's 6'5", just a massive dude. But I thought this line, again, without Toffoli right now, I think they're still kind of trying to figure things out, but I thought they overall were pretty good today. And Celebrini was really feeling it. I think we're gonna get another. Don't be surprised in one of these Nashville games. If we get a Celebrini game, I think we're getting one coming here really soon. So, Ty Dellinger and Nico Sturm, Barclay Goodrow, 9-37, 11 to 6 shot attempts, 4 to 2 actual shots, had a goal as well. This line, especially early in the game, I think was the Sharks' best line until their top 6 were able to kind of get themselves established. Great goal, the Goodrow goal. Nico Sturm just going in, doing Nico Sturm things, right? Taking a hit to make a play, and then finds Goodrow able to bury it. Did not have a Barclay Goodrow goal streak on my bingo card, but here we are. 2 goals in 2 games for Barclay Goodrow. He, good for this line. Early on, I think they were the Sharks' best line until the top 6 kind of get themselves established. And then we had Graf Cunning and Carl Grundstrom, 7-34, 5 to 6 shot attempts, 1 to 3 actual shots. I thought they had signed again early. I think they were probably a little bit better early, but then as the game wore on, like I said, the top 6 really kind of took over. Graf, again, he's so close to scoring that first goal. I think once he scores that first goal, we're gonna get hopefully get a floodgates moment where he starts to get a couple here. As for the defensive pairs, Wallman-Ceci has 68% Corsi 4, 17 to 8. Thrun Ruda, 57.14 Corsi 4, 8 to 6. Ferraro Liljegren, 38.46% Corsi 4, 10 to 16 shot attempts. Wallman, brutal turnover that that Askarov was able to save there, because that was brutal turnover, and to David Pastrnak, the last guy in the world that you want to give the puck to right there. But yeah, I think Wallman's still maybe kind of working himself back from his injury here, so I'm going to be a little bit more hesitant, kind of lenient on him, because again, I think he is working himself back from his injuries. So Askarov, I thought was pretty solid this game. Probably wants the Coyle goal back that bounces off the back of him. I think he was maybe kind of cheating a little bit there to try to push over. But overall, I thought he made some big saves, especially early in this game. You think about the 2-on-1 with Pastrnak, and he stops that save. made some big saves. Good to see him kind of back into form, especially after dealing with the illness that he was. And I assume we'll probably get Gorgiev on Tuesday. I was really hoping for the Askarov and Nashville game, but we'll probably see Askarov on Thursday as the Sharks host Nashville that game. So none of the again, that fourth goal probably wants it back. But the other three, I think those are like legitimate goals. So yeah, building block game again. I think better performance, especially after what we saw from the last two, and hopefully the Sharks can kind of keep this going here and try to build off of it. So we're gonna talk about Sam Dickinson, Casper Holzman, and Quint Musty as they all played on Sunday in the same game. So I'm going to my observations from all three of those guys in that game. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. In sports, having a winning strategy is everything. It's how the best teams make it to the Super Bowl, the World Series, the Olympics. The same goes for life. Having a strategy like life insurance from Select Quote can protect your financial legacy and keep your family's future secure. Select Quote makes it easy to find the perfect life insurance policy. As one of America's leading insurance brokers with nearly 40 years of experience, they've helped over 2 million customers find $700 billion in coverage since 1985. What Select Quotes sets them apart is their personal touch. Like other brokers that offer one-size-fits-all policies, their licensed agents tailor coverage to fit your unique needs. If you're in good health, you might even qualify for same-day coverage of up to $5 million. No medical exam required. It's more affordable than you think. You can get up to $1 million in coverage for as little as $20 a month. So get the right life insurance for you for less at selectquote.com/lockedonnhl. Go to selectquote.com/lockedonnhl today to get started. That's selectquote.com/lockedonnhl. Select Quote. They shop, you save. All right, before we finish up, do want to, of course, thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. For your second listen, when you're done with this, go check out one of the other great shows here at the Locked On Network. Of course, you have Locked On Fantasy Hockey. If your fantasy hockey team needs some help, they got you covered. You have Locked On NHL, where I'm on every Tuesday with Seth. We cover the biggest stories that's happening in the NHL every day with a rotating cast of hosts. Or anything in the Bay Area, right? Locked On Niners, Locked On Warriors, Locked On A's, Locked On Giants. Plenty of great stuff going on the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. All right. So Sudbury played London. So we had 3 of top 5-ish of the Sharks prospects playing all in the same game. If you kind of exclude Celebrini and Smith, who are both just about NHL players right now. So watching this game on Sunday, and it was first thing that you have to kind of keep in mind. London is an absolute wagon, insanely good team. So they dominated this game, to be honest. It was London doing basically whatever they wanted, and the final score of the game was 8-1. So yes, they controlled the shot attempt, shots were 37-18. Even after the first 2 periods, there was Sudbury was only able to manage 10 shots on goal. London, very good team, going to be in the mix to go very far in the playoffs, if not the favorites to win the OHL championship again and head back to the Memorial Cup. So let's start with London, and then we'll get to Quentin Musty. So we'll go with Dickinson first. So Dickinson, I really, really liked Sam Dickinson's game. Didn't have the flashiest game, especially with the score sheet. Just had 1 assist in the game, but the assist was a beautiful assist. But what I liked from Dickinson in this game was just much better decision making from him. And that's kind of the thing we've seen from Dickinson is when things go wrong, sometimes they kind of spiral really quickly with him. None of that in this game. I think there was one play where I was like, oh, that was a bad decision, where they're on the power play. He makes like a drop pass, and actually Quentin Musty of all people reads it, and is able to kind of jump on the puck. Like that's one where it's like just keep skating with the puck with it there. But I mean, we see it all the time with guys making the drop pass on the power play. But Sam Dickinson, though, I thought he was very much more control. Great plays in the defensive zone of just kind of shutting things down, being smart with a puck, being physical along the boards. I was really impressed with Dickinson's play in this game. This is a game tape where you see it and you're like, okay, this is why the Sharks are so excited about Sam Dickinson. Again, you didn't see like the offensive stuff. He did plenty of great stuff in the offensive zone. Like he's number one on like power play. London had like a bajillion power plays in this game. They had 6 power play opportunities. They went 2 for 6 on the power play. He is the captain. Like he runs the power play. It's everything kind of runs through him at the top, which is what you would expect to see, right? But again, I just thought it was a much more cool, calm, collected Sam, especially compared to what we have seen, especially in the early in the year, where I think there was more on Dickinson's plate as London was a little bit more shorthanded with some of their guys. Kind of, they're also dealing with some injuries and stuff like that. But if Sam Dickinson can play like this, plus knowing you also have the like break in case of glass emergency, I need Sam Dickinson to put up 3 goals type of performances. I thought it was a great Sam Dickinson game. So next, we'll talk about Kasper Halttunen, who had 4 assists in this game. Halttunen, like you, of course, right? We know Kasper Halttunen known for his shot. You see, I think a lot of the teams in the OHL have now really adjusted to that, and like they're basically putting someone right in front of Kasper Halttunen and kind of daring him to just try to blast one through. And he still has a shot. Like the shot is very much still there. You saw it, I think it was Friday night. He scored a beautiful, like kind of toe drag and just absolute snipe, like upper corner, just nothing the goalie could do. But in this game, though, you saw much more of the playmaking Halttunen and that physicality. Remember, as a guy who's played professional hockey in Finland before, I think he does a much better job of using his body compared to some of the other guys, including Quentin Musty, who we'll talk about here in a little bit. But for Halttunen, it's still going to be about the skating and improving, especially that first step. But the playmaking in this game, and he had a really nice where it was kind of an odd man rush. He's kind of the first guy. He's got the puck, realizes he's not going to be able to get the shot. He's got a defender kind of draped on him on his left side. Nice little behind the back pass to a trailer. He scores a goal there. Even on the first one, it's not the prettiest assist, but it is one of those kind of game-winning play or, like winning plays. I know Shane likes to use the term like winning hockey or winning plays, where he kind of takes a hit along the boards and is able to kind of squirt the puck out to was it Cowan or Van Gorp, who passes over to Landon Sim for a goal there. And he kind of starts it because of a physical play he makes in the neutral zone. So, you're seeing the improvements. I know the production hasn't been there for Halttunen, especially in the goal scoring department, but we know like that shot's not going anywhere. It's can you round out the rest of your game to be a complete player? And like the shot is always going to be there. Like that's an NHL caliber shot right now. Like you could put you could just park Kasper Halttunen on an NHL power play, and he would probably score a fair amount of goals just because of that shot right now. But what else, if you're not scoring goals, what else can you do for me? And I think you're starting to kind of see some of that stuff start to evolve for Kasper Halttunen. It was good to see 4-point game from him, second star of the game. So then finally over to Quentin Musty on the London side. And you could tell this was a frustrating game for them and for Musty himself. Frustrating. Like one goal, he just smashes his stick on the goal post after they give up a goal. And this game really, I think, again, London is a great team with a lot of NHL drafted players on their team. Like London's that team where they just always get the best guys, right? So it's something to kind of keep in mind with them. But this game showed a lot, I think, for Quentin Musty of what he still needs to work on. And Quentin Musty, right? We know when he gets the puck, he has some space. Like the dude's dangerous, and he's going to score a bajillion goals. But I think this game showed a lot of why I think he needs some time in the AHL because, again, right, Quentin Musty's always been bigger, faster, stronger than everyone he's played against, and he's used that to his advantage. And not to say that when Quentin Musty becomes an NHL player, he won't eventually be bigger, faster, stronger than most of the players he plays against. But what happens when you just play against a bunch of great guys? And you could tell he was just super frustrated in this game. So I think this was a tough game for all of Sudbury, especially right. You lose 8-1. Like you're just not able to generate any. It's like London controlled the pace of this game from start to finish. And even the only goal they gave up was kind of like an odd man just break, kind of a breakout type of thing. But I think for Musty, this was one of those like where you point to it and say, this is why I think he needs some time in the AHL as he learns how to play against guys who are the same strength, who are better than him. And how do you learn to kind of facilitate, kind of maneuver around and develop and grow your game? So, not to say Musty had a bad game. Like he didn't have a great game, but he was also not in a great position because his team just got outworked this entire game. Like London was first to every puck. They controlled pace, and Sudbury just didn't have an answer for it. So, and again, it's one game against the best team in the OHL. Like I'm not worried about Quentin Musty, but I think this is a game that kind of like, if you think Quentin Musty is going to be playing like a lot of NHL games next year, this is a game you kind of point to and say, I think he's got some stuff he needs to work on his, and especially we saw it in the preseason, right? What happens when you play guys who are bigger, faster, and stronger than you, and you're not able to kind of go to your normal things? How do you kind of develop that changeup or develop that second pitch? And I think that's what Musty needs to work on right now. So, because Quentin Musty's gonna be awesome, and I want him to be awesome. It's just, again, I'm trying to like the expectation of like Quentin Musty to kind of come in and do just, be like a 20 goal scorer for the Sharks next year. Like that is a lot to ask. I think he's got some stuff he needs to work on, or he has all the tools in the world. And I think Quentin Musty has the potential to be like a 35, 40 goal scorer for the Sharks eventually. He just needs to work on his game. He's also 19. Like it's fine. Plenty of guys at this age have plenty, stuff to work on and end up being great players. So that's going to be it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow after the Preds game. So if you missed it, I also did a Simone Nemec episode that was out Sunday night, kind of looking at if the Sharks should trade for Simone Nemec, what it would cost, and what my answer was on potentially pursuing the New Jersey prospect. So make sure you guys go check that out. You can follow along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Till tomorrow. Bye, friends.